It's Robin, and I thought I would just share some of the things that I take for snacks, especially if I'm on the go, but especially if I'm traveling. If I'm on the go during the day, I often will, cut up some fruits or veggies or, some real food to take with me, some hard-boiled eggs, something like that. But if I'm on the go, like when we went to our trip to Universal a couple weeks ago, I needed some prepackaged stuff that I could take with me and have during the day to eat down there for times when I couldn't find anything that really worked for me. So here's kind of some things that I took. These are almost gone because they were really good. These are pumpkin seeds. They're Eden brand. They're organic, and they're dry roasted but only lightly salted. They were really, really good. So I would definitely buy those again. I got a couple different kinds of beef jerky. One I ate totally, and I have a tiny bit of this Lawless Jerky. This is the first time I had that, and it's Aloha Teriyaki. With jerky, you have to be really careful if you're gluten-free to make sure that it is gluten-free, because it's often not, weirdly enough, right? Like you think meat, why would there be gluten in it? But there is often. And I also have to watch for spices. It's nightshades like paprika and chili peppers and those kind of things that don't sit well with me. I get a lot of joint pain, so I have to watch for those and really check the ingredients as well. So these worked well. Things like this little nut and berry mix. It's organic nuts, seeds, and berries, dried berries. That works great. I often have those around. I often keep them in the car just for when the kids are starving or we don't have anything else. Okay, so for protein bars, there's not a lot out there that I can really tolerate. I don't do well with whey protein in protein bars. And so the only ones I found that don't bug me are these vegan fermented protein bars. And so they're Genuine Health brand, and there's 3 different flavors: peanut butter chocolate, dark chocolate almond, and double chocolate chip. Now the only thing is that they sound yummy. They're actually really not. They're not that delicious. They have like kind of a texture that's not awesome. It's kind of dry, I guess, and kind of crumbly, and they're just not super yummy, but I still buy them and I still take them with me when I'm traveling, because it's better than having nothing or having an option that's not that doesn't follow along with my dietary intolerances. And so I do eat them, but they're not super yummy, which is good, because maybe it's good, right? Because otherwise, if they were super yummy, maybe I'd be eating them all the time, and it's not great to be eating processed stuff all the time. And then another thing that I've recently found is these little babies. There was a few different kinds of these. They're Power Plant Good Natured Food, it's called. They're 80% raw, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, peanut-free, paleo-friendly, no soy. So there was a few different types of these. This is an almond veggie bar, which is actually not bad. And then there was like a chocolate fruit bar and a chocolate veggie bar and a chocolate coconut bar, I think. And they're actually all pretty decent and pretty decent ingredients. They're not like super high in protein though, so that's something, if you're looking for something that has protein. This has, it's not bad. It has 14 grams of protein, whereas this bar has 15, so pretty much the same. So I would say these are better tasting, to be honest. Some dried fruit I brought. I didn't eat a ton of this because I find if I eat too much that's pretty sweet and sugary, I don't feel that great. So, but it's good for little bits. And then another thing that I found that I really loved, and I'm glad I have to eat now, is these sliced tiger nuts. Because I often get a salad, because that's what I can eat. And then by the time you take the tomatoes away, and you take the peppers away, and you take the dairy away, there's nothing left of it. And sometimes there's not even a dressing that fits with my dietary issues. So that is just lettuce. Like, boring, right? But these tiger nuts are actually, they're not nuts. It's actually a small root vegetable. So it says it comprised 80% of our paleo ancestors' diet, and it contains as much iron as red meat. So it's really kind of a dense nutrient kind of thing. And I'd never had them before, but I got the sliced ones, throw them on top of a salad, and I'm loving having them here. Just adds a little crunch to your salad, adds a little, variety. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to salad making. So I don't love to put a bunch of stuff in, but I can just do lettuce, cut up a cucumber, throw this on, and it tastes like I actually put some effort into it, you know, put some dressing on, and it's good. So those are kind of the mainstays. Also, any kind of nuts are great, and often those are the kinds of things that you can pick up at the airport if you're, you know, if you're in trouble and you don't have any food. You know, you can look for different nuts. I prefer raw, but in a pinch, roasted will do. Just check the ingredients, and so that's the main things that I do and I eat while I was gone. And I found it was great. It just gives me a little bit between each meal, especially since we were eating so late because we had to ride like every single ride there 50 times. So, you know, not time to stop for supper. So by the time we ate, it was pretty late at night. A lot of days. The last night it was like, I don't know, 10:30 or something by the time we finally got our food. So having some snacks really helped. And like this, you know, this weekend we're going to my in-laws, and we're driving there, and then we're going somewhere on Saturday, just for the day, and we're just going each place for a day, but it's just nice to have some portable snacks that you can take with you, and then I just feel better having something and having control and not having to worry that they're having to go through a whole bunch of trouble to make sure that I have something to eat, and I think it just makes it more relaxed for all of us. I typically have some leftovers in the freezer that I can just take out and take with me, and then, you know, it's just easier that way. Not that people aren't accommodating, because they really are, but it's just easier. I do stick 100% to my my intolerances, not having anything that has those in them if I can absolutely help it. The only time I do is if I don't know, because I just feel so much better if I do, and I find it makes a big difference, especially with this injury and you know, having problems with my knees since hurting my Achilles tendon just from walking weird. And so I really notice if I have something inflammatory that is causing me joint pain, it really affects my knees and it affects my ability to strengthen that leg, and you know, it's kind of a spiral effect, and I really want to get back to being 100% as soon as possible. So I stick 100% to those foods, or to not eating those foods, and eating as anti-inflammatory as possible. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions or any suggestions, or you have some great things that you eat that you think would work for me, I would love to hear about them, because I always feel like I'm kind of restricted and there's not a lot of great options out there. So I would love to hear anything that you do as well. I hope you guys have a great day.